It's full on winter, snow is everywhere. I needed something warm, cozy, and delicious. How about a little potato leek soup that's never changed your life before like this one? Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chronicles of the Chef. I'm Scott Hamilton, and today I'm out in Pittsburgh visiting, and it is a cold, wintry day. The snow is blowing sideways. It is cold, and the menu needs something warm and cozy on it. So I braved the weather, went down to the Ship District, and found a gold mine of delicious ingredients. Some delicious breads. We've got a delicious cheese, some chorizo. Oh, this potato leek soup is going to blow your mind. Little apple salad on top. Yeah, that's right. Salad on the soup. No soup and salad nonsense. We're going to put the salad on the soup. Let's go. All right, so starting off with our mise en place, I'm going to do a fortified stock for this kind of chowder-esque soup that we're going to make. I got some chicken broth here, and we're going to just put it right in the pan, and all of our scraps are going to go into here, help kind of align all of our flavors throughout the entire dish, and make sure that everything is just tasting delicious. All right, so we're going to start with our rosemary. So this rosemary, the oils, this fragrance, everything's going to kind of get onto this cutting board, and then as I cut all these other ingredients, it's going to pick up all the flavors of the garlic, the rosemary, everything as we go. So I like to start with herbs for that very reason. Ooh, smells so wonderful. And we got some fresh thyme. Alright, working on our garlic now. We're doing some hefty cloves over here, but really I'm looking for about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of garlic altogether. But look at these things. They're massive. Call that good. That's probably about 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to take these other 2 ginormous cloves that we got, and I'm going to do little chips, because I think a little garlic chip situation in the soup might be delicious and fun. Now we're going to add our parsley. I'm going to take all those stems right into our stock. And this parsley, I'm going to want a little bit thicker. I don't want like a fine mince. This is going to be more of like a garnish. So fold it in half and just run a knife through. We just want some big, beautiful, fresh chunks here. And I'm going to cut an apple. And this apple is going to be in our soup. And then we're going to have an apple for the garnish. But our core is still going to go in our stock. And these apples I want to be on the smaller, thinner side, so that you can make sure you're able to get an apple and a potato and some of the chorizo. Everything can fit on one spoon. We're gonna put these in later on in the cooking, so they'll still keep a fresh crunch to them. And now our green for in the soup, we're gonna do some celery. And this, I'm not looking for a texture, kind of will be there. This is much more in the realm of it getting a good aromatic into our soup. But similar to our apple, how we're going to cut everything else, we're looking to have this be able to get onto a spoon with everything else. And it's probably about a half a cup or so of celery. And for our leek, I always just throw away the top one, and then I'll go and rinse this. And as you can see, there's all sorts of dirt in here. So we want to make sure that you rinse out your leeks really, really well. Okay, I've rinsed it really well. I'm not going to use these stems because you can see just how much dirt is in there even after getting rinsed. So we're not going to use those stems. But these harder greens that I don't really want to cook down and much really deal with. So we're going to take the top off. All of this is going to be perfect for our stock situation. And now for the rest of this guy, we're gonna cut it into quarters, and then we will slice it into our nice strips. Similar to our celery. There we go. And all that's gonna cook down beautifully. Okay, so that's probably one leek was probably close to a cup worth of leeks. We got our celery. Oh man, Everything is smelling oh so delicious. Last but not least, potatoes. And I went with the medley because I wanted one variety in texture, starches, and there's subtle flavors, but also it gives us a little bit of color variation. This is gonna end up being a pretty one-note looking dish. And so if we can have a little bit of gold potato, some more regular whites, maybe a purple in there, it'll just give us a little pops of color here and there. And as you can see, I'm matching kind of the cut and length of the apples that we did. So we're kind of, instead of going like perfect little squares, we got these little rectangles. There we go, there's our potatoes. This is about a ½ pound, which I think is going to be plenty of potato. And I'm gonna put in this bowl, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna salt these heavily and then cover them in water. Not really to marinate a little bit, get some salt in there, but that will make sure that they don't turn brown while we're doing all of our other cooking and everything else. We'll start by searing off our Spanish style chorizo sausage links. And 2 of them we're gonna leave whole. And the other 2, actually going to break the casing, and we're gonna just mush it out of here. So we get a little crumbly chorizo-ness, as well as we'll sear and then poach the other one, and then we'll cut that up similar size to our potatoes and vegetables and all that fun. That can go into our stock broth deliciousness. Turn that down. While that is starting to sear off and everything, we're gonna add all of our leeks and celery. Ooh, yeah. We just want to sit on the other side, and then we'll get that in our little broth situation over there to let them finish cooking, and then part more of that sausage delicious flavor into our broth. All right, we're gonna do those good. I'm just gonna drop these guys in here. We're gonna build those kind of herb flavors throughout. As this is cooking down, we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some thyme and some rosemary. So a little bit of thyme, some rosemary. We were down in the strip and it was really fun. I was looking for bread bowls, but came across rosemary focaccia, which is like a delicious yes. And then also a cashew e pepe sourdough loaf. And I'm very, very excited for that to eat with this. Make some delicious toast later. Ooh, we're on a winning streak out here in Pittsburgh. That is for sure. Oh, look how much those leeks cook down. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna turn this down to about medium heat now. I like the way that the sausage is cooking up. So here's our potatoes that have been soaking, and we're not gonna add all this water, but I'm also not really gonna strain it much. I'm just gonna literally take it out of here, let it drip, and throw these potatoes in. I'm gonna take this and just give this a little splash. I wanna make sure I use up some of that starch, help thicken this thing up. The rest of that water, I'm just gonna toss. Smells are intoxicating, and I am here for it. I have a little bit of liquid in here that I want to kind of cook off before we add our apples and our garlic. All right, we're gonna throw in our garlic chips and our apples. The apples are gonna add this like really beautiful sweet, a little bit of tartness, a little acidity, but mainly this sweet crunch that's gonna go so well with our pork, with the chorizo, the heat from the chorizo. Really, really good with the rosemary and the thyme. I also found, while shopping around in the strip district, a delicious, Beanster Hatch chili cheese. It's kind of like a Gouda from the Netherlands, and oh, it was so good, and I'm so excited for that. That Gouda-esque, that nuttiness, that buttery deliciousness with a little bit of heat from the Hatch chili, balancing with the apple. Oh, it's gonna be so delicious. Oh, and this is gonna be a hearty, hearty soup. I'm liking the look of these guys, so we're gonna pull them off, and I'm gonna go get them chopped up. All right, we're gonna get these chopped up now. It's gonna give us a nice texture, a nice bite, and a little bit more uniformity. I like the bigger chunks of the chorizo that's gonna be floating around in there. And then this will make it so it's like, okay, I can get that really, really good bite of meat, potato, apple, leek. All those will fit on the spoon. And then there will be some just delicious bites where it's just, boom, chorizo deliciousness. Mmm. Oh, so good. The paprika, the slight smokiness, and then there's like a slight bit of heat to it, but it's nothing over the top or too crazy. Oh man, this soup is gonna be so good. There's a lot of stuff happening in this soup. It is gonna be spoonfuls, which also I'm a big fan. I don't like when you get soup and you have to like hunt down everything and you're basically just having broth. Broths are delicious, don't get me wrong, but like, I want things. All right, let's go put this in the soup. All right, we're gonna toss these guys in. Give this a good mix. Oh yes. Oh, the smells. Broth smells delicious. We're gonna throw a little more rosemary in here. A little pinch of thyme. Now, you notice I haven't been doing a whole lot of salting on this. And that's because of how much chorizo we have in here and how salty that meat is to begin with. We salted the potatoes and they sat in salts. We added some of that salt water to our broth that we're gonna use to cook this in. And I don't think that we're gonna really need much salt because of all the other things happening. But this is one of those dishes where we're gonna salt more towards the end because we've added layers of salt because of the seasoned meats. We're gonna start working on a bit of a roux. We're gonna do about a tablespoon or so of butter. And we're also gonna count on all the extra fat from that chorizo. So since I did a tablespoon or so of butter, I'm gonna do a similar amount of flour. You can always do more. We're also gonna use half and half, which is thicker to begin with. And I don't want like a clumpy, I want a rich, delicious soup that's velvety and smooth. I don't want anything too thick. I want it to coat the spoon and I want it to hold together, but I don't want it to feel like a porridge or something like that. There we go. Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna let that flour cook down. Make sure it starts to get a really good cooking process going on it. Okay, this is looking beautiful. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna add about a third, half or so, a half cup. About a half cup of Greek yogurt to this. And this is gonna give us some nice tang. Let's give us a little bit of thickness and richness. Oh, and it's just gonna start giving us that base of that chowder-esque feel. Oh, all right, I deem that good there. Add our stock now. Fortified deliciousness there. Oh. And we're gonna let this cook just like this before we add our heavy cream. Give ourselves a bit of a moment to let it thicken up, reduce, everyone to kind of get to know each other. We're gonna be using the half and half more like our thinning agent rather than thickening it. So that way we get a nice, rich, creamy, velvety soup that all this deliciousness gets to hang out in. All right, we're at a good kind of rolling boil. We're gonna turn this down to good medium. I'm gonna start off with 1 cup of half and half. There we go. Give that a nice stir. Okay, and I for sure want everything is pretty well covered. So 1 cup isn't quite enough. We're gonna go with about a half a cup more. There we go. And we'll see what that looks like. Almost there. We're just gonna do the rest of that cup. So we're gonna do 2 cups total. Oh, you're a potato, you're an apple, here's some sausage, some delicious broth. Let's give this a try. So good. So good. We're definitely gonna need to do a little bit of salt work in here. Oh, but that is money. All right, we're gonna turn this on to low and we're gonna let this simmer for about 15-20 minutes at least. All right, while that is simmering, we're gonna make a little garnish. We're gonna do like a little apple gremolata herb salad kind of a thing. So garlic, all that delicious garlic. We're gonna do the majority of our parsley because we want it there, but I think that I'm gonna throw some of this back in that soup just to kind of give it some freshness folded throughout. So about 3/4 of a bunch of parsley. And then we're gonna cut up this apple and give a little shallot. I'm probably only gonna do about half this apple, and we're gonna do a really fine chopping on this apple. We're gonna run our knife this way. And as you can see, it's a pretty fine little dice chopping that we did on those apples. And on this one, because I want a very textures, I'm going to do more of like a matchstick. There's our little matchsticks. And then this apple and parsley situation. Those little guys are gonna soften up and feel a little more pickled when we add the vinegar to this. And those other ones, the matchsticks, are gonna hold up a little bit more and give us a little lift and give us more crunchy points. All right, got our shallot. We're only gonna do about half this shallot. So we got some half moons of some shallots. Oh, it's so fresh and bright and beautiful. Love everything about this. All right, I got some kosher salt. And then we're gonna throw the rest of our rosemary into here and the rest of that thyme into there as well. So this is really herby, really fresh, really to kind of counterbalance all of the rich, heavy, and spice that we have going on in the soup. And then we're gonna hit it with a little sherry vinegar. Again, adding an acid, we're gonna cut through all of the fat and everything. And the sherry is gonna kind of match that Spanish vibe of the chorizo. Well, that was a roller coaster. Oh man. All right. It needs a little bit more liquid, I think, to it. And possibly something sweet. Maybe a little honey or something. We'll see. I'm gonna do a little more of that vinegar. And then there's also this delicious dill olive oil. Just gonna add another herb and not doing a whole lot of this. Just a light little drizzle just to kind of lubricate everything. Help that vinegar get stretched a little bit. Oh yeah. And remember, like, you want this really, really bright, fresh, herby. We want all those herbs. We want that sherry vinegar, that bite. We want it to be really, really strong because this is going to help lift up the entire soup. All right, so we got some honey infused or bourbon infused, honey infused bourbon, bourbon infused honey. The bourbon was infused into the honey, so this is honey, not bourbon. Everything's fine. But we're just gonna do like not a whole lot. We're talking like teaspoonish. We're just gonna kind of drizzle everywhere. Oh, yeah, and just kind of give this a good mix. Money. Next garnish is gonna be our cheese. All right, we got our Beamster cheese. I'd never heard of it, never seen it, and I looked it up and it said it's like a similar to Gouda, but it's aged at least 18 months. And then it said hatch chilies, and I love a roasted pepper. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and shred this guy up. But first, I mean, it's a must. Oh man, that Gouda flavor is there. I see the resemblance. It's nutty, it's rich, it's creamy, and then you get this delicious heat and that hatch chili roasted. Oh man, this is gonna be so good. All right, we are gonna do the bigger grade. Oh, look at that beauty right there. All right, this guy right here. Ooh. So good. Look at this beautiful loaf of sourdough. Oh man. Oh, it smells so good. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna have a couple of slices of this guy for some toast to go with our soup. And then of course some of that rosemary focaccia, but I'm gonna cut that right before. End is so good. I love the ends of bread. There's so much more flavor. And it'll hold so much more butter. Let it melt into it and it catches it down here. And you just have a boat of butter in this bread. This is delicious. Oh, there's just a slight little pepperiness to it. Oh man. Winning. I'm so excited. Okay. All right, garnishes are ready. Let's go get these toasting off. Finish up this soup. And let's get eating. I'm in. I like this consistency. It might be on a little bit on the thicker side, so I might add a little bit more half and half just at the very end here. Keep it nice and loose. I like the way that it coats a spoon. I like that things kind of fall with it and that it's not clumpy or solid. All right, I'm gonna throw the rest of this parsley in here. We're looking just to add a little bit of freshness in throughout the entire dish. Pop of color, pop of life. Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. I deem this soup done and delicious, so we're gonna give ourselves a nice scoop. There we go, yeah. All right, let's go plate. We're gonna hit it with a little of our cheese and then our bright little salad. We're just gonna put it over here in the corner. That way we can dip into that one as we need and as we want. All right, let's dig in on this delicious chorizo potato leek soup. Apple, I don't know what to call it, but I just know that it is going to be rib sticking deliciousness, and I'm excited. This is so good. It's rich and velvety and creamy. The potatoes cooked perfectly. They have a little bite. That chorizo, oh, that smoky paprika flavor that's in it. Oh, it's so good. There's a little apple. It's bright sweetness. You got a little crunch to it, and then there's extra rich and creamy with some extra heat building from that Hatch chili beam stir cheese. Oh, that might be like in my top favorites of cheese of all time. Like, that is money. All right, let's get into our little salad, because we're putting salad in the soup, not on the side. A little bit of all of it now. The crunch and the bright fresh just cuts through all of the rich fatty, and you're just left with just a mouth coated with delicious cream, the flavors of the chorizo, and then it's all bright and fresh. And while it feels comforting and warm and cozy, it's light and refreshing. Oh man, so good. Okay, obviously I went with the heel of the bread. Put some butter on there. See, it soaks out on the bottom and then it catches all the extra butter. Oh, all right, let's see here. That is so good. We're gonna mix the rest of that cheese in there. Get that melted in there. Oh yeah. Oh ho ho ho! All that was so good. The crunch of the toast was excellent. It soaks up the soup perfectly. So excellent. If you wanted to add like croutons to the soup or whatever to add that kind of crunch, you could. But the bread isn't needed. I mean, the bread is always wanted, but it's not needed in this scenario because we have such good textures and such good flavors building in here. We don't need a crunchy crouton because we have those fresh apples to give us this nice, bright, fresh crunch. Oh man, here we go. Focaccia though. Sea salty goodness. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get a little bit of everything on it. So good. The rosemary in this, I was a little nervous that it was gonna be too much rosemary, but the rosemary is perfect throughout. This brings out the rosemary, kind of brings it to the front, which is just fine. But like overall, oh man, both bread choices, excellent. Very happy with those. I want another bite with like this salad situation mixed in. This is phenomenal. This is like a soup that I'm gonna come back to. There's some more apple. Oh, that sweetness. Oh man, all of it adding up perfectly. But if you have ever wondered why we use parsley, this dish will show you the flavor of parsley and what it can do and how it can transform a dish. Fresh, obviously the dried is its own thing. We won't get into it, but this fresh parsley, the Gremolata feel, vibe, everything to it is just life that is breathed into this. And the acid in there, the sherry vinegar, oh, perfect. Yes, life-changing, life-altering soup. And it's the way every meal should be. All day. All day, team. This right here, winner. Next wintery day, this is what you need to make. So good. Thank you for watching. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed going down the strip, finding and getting to play with some new ingredients. I've been craving soup. I've been wanting to make something a little more rich and unctuous and more comforting, but keeping it light. Hit the nail on the head on this one. This was a great success. Had lots of fun. If you're out and about and you see random ingredients that you want to wonder, like, what can we use it for, or how to use it, or in what, or anything like that, or if you have something like, I love this, but I want to use it in new ways, I want to explore more, let me know down in the comments, and we'll get to making those kinds of things. Like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and we'll see you next time. Oh man, all the soup all day long. Mm-hmm.